So today, we're going to teach you how to do what's called a sidestep, and so on. You've all thought about it, haven't you? Like knee, JDCR, you can avoid and attack others. But it's not easy. Can we really move like knee and JDCR? Is sidestep really a talent, or is it sense? Can we really do it? Nope. We can do it like JDCR. It's true. We can do it. That's it, really. We can do it. This video will show you. Well, probably not as well as knee or JDCR. Anyway. Before we go in, some of you might not be familiar with the term. Let's summarize the terms first. For those of you who don't need the term, we've got a link in the comments. You can skip by clicking on it. Sidestep. Tap the lever up or down slightly. Sidewalk. To slightly tap the lever up or down, and then hold the lever in the same direction. I'll sometimes call this sidestep here and there. It's a Korean-style directional name. Tekken is divided into 1-player and 2-player, so if there's no specific explanation, then just saying move up or move down is problematic. Instead, the standard is to follow clock directions. Clockwise or sidestep left when moving clockwise. The opposite clock direction is clock opposite or sidestep right. And one of the things that many people find hard to understand is a thing called axis correction. Repositioning the opponent when he or she is sidestepped is called axis correction. Usually, moving forward, backward, or sidestepping with your opponent is all axis correction. You're already doing it. But axis correction is more difficult to understand, and it's more difficult to explain. So let's just think about it simply. Without sidestep, Tekken is only standing or ducking. It's better not to move than to get hit while doing the sidestep. It may be better to just play the punishment game. There are actually people who play games like this. Their style is called Golem play. Still, the reason for sidestepping is simple. Experience tells us that you have to dodge to hit them. It's cool to avoid them and punish, so we try to do it here and there. It's not easy, so we get caught while moving. Then we give up. I'm not the one who can do sidesteps. Sidesteps seem to be the domain of talent and sense, so we give up on practicing. Sure, you can avoid simple things, but what about for knee, JDCR, low-high, fight sprite, Kokoma, you know? The ability to use sidestep itself is all the same. It's similar to the difference between Fujin or Tekken God. What's different from us is they know when to use sidesteps. Let me start by telling you 3 things that we should keep in mind before we sidestep. First, you can't avoid it all just because you can move. Second, sidestepping is the same concept as block punishment. Third, the sidestep must be precise and complete. First of all, what does it mean to be able to move but not be able to dodge? Some attacks track clockwise, and some attacks track clockwise opposite. This is a concept that anyone with Tekken knowledge now takes for granted. If you didn't know, you should know now. Each skill is dodged with a different direction. Most standard attacks have similar tracking attributes. The generic left middle punch, down forward 1, the basic skill we all have in common, is clockwise or sidestep left. The generic right mid punch is avoided in the clockwise opposite direction, sidestep right. Anyway, the mistake that most people make is usually with the first rule. After their attack is blocked, they just think about, hey, I can dodge with sidestep. Let me give you an example. Let me give you another example. Oh, why did you get hit this time? Isn't it dodged with sidestep right? Is something wrong with the axis? Is the timing too late? I have a lot of worries. At the end it reminds me, am I not allowed to do it either? We keep thinking, but we don't know why. Gosu avoids, but we just think there's something when we see it not being dodged. But we don't know what this something is. We don't have anyone to teach us. Now what I'm going to teach you is that something. Why couldn't it be avoided? We can dodge after down forward 1 because it's -3 frames. Down forward 1-4 is -9 frames, so we can't sidestep. Guys, sidestepping is also frame dependent. Depending on the frame advantage, what can be avoided is different. If you move without a plan, you'll get hit. Tekken's very nasty thing is that it's a completely technical job. You can do well if you play for a long time, but the information is not shared. How can I avoid it after all? Everyone, do you study punishes after looking at frame data? This is minus 10 frames, so 1-2 punish. This is minus 14 frames, so a stronger punish. This is minus 15, so launch punish. It's so simple. But minus 3 frames, minus 5 frames, minus 7, 9? These skills all under 10 frames? I mean, when you saw an attack's frames, but you saw they couldn't be punished, did you pay attention? When a move was blocked, you simply reacted to the opponent's attack, didn't you? I'm not saying it's bad, but if you are good at sidestepping, the other side has to consider a larger number of cases. In the manga Slam Dunk, that's the reason why the selfish Kaede Rukawa was only able to beat Eiji Sawakita after he started to pass the ball. Number of cases. So Kaede Rukawa didn't know how to sidestep. He's green rank. Here's the answer to how to do a good sidestep. Number 1, best case for dodging with sidestep is when you're +1 or more. Second best, where almost everything can be sidestepped, is between 0 and -4. Sidestepping is tight and difficult at -4 through -6. And from -7 to -9, blocking is best. In the past, Help Me wrote tips for Tekken Tag 2. Nothing is unsteppable if you guard forward 1 and do sidestep. Let me give you an example. First one's a little long. MOQ used to say that -3 to +3 doesn't seem to be able to say that someone is in an advantage. This is a bad time, but you can avoid it all. -5 to -6. From this point on, it is hard to avoid it little by little. -7 to -6. Blocks are the best thing to do. Ten or higher, we need to add jab punishes, right? There are cases like Yoshimitsu's exceptionally fast blade punish, but those are special cases. Now, as you can see, if we know the other person's frame data, you don't have to be scared because you know if you're getting away from it or not. It is the -9 frame mark where you have to block, for example when a slash kick is blocked. So the basics cannot be avoided there. Indeed, even linear jabs cannot be avoided at -9. King's strong knee, forward, forward, forward 3, has the same command as a slash kick, and when I block, the block stun animation is the same. Based on the animation, it seems to be a disadvantageous position. But the frame data says 0 frames. Based on what we just learned, we should be able to dodge anything in this case. Do you think that's true? So it's finally the third rule. Sidesteps must be precise and complete. Sidesteps are used to avoid quick moves or short strings. Side walks are used to avoid long strings or moves with better tracking. Sidestep can only dodge at the moment that the attack comes out, and if the opponent makes an axis correction, your sidestep won't dodge the attack anymore. So if your opponent doesn't use a move, you have to stop the sidestep. It's called a sidestep block. It's a fairly advanced technique, and it's difficult to use, so I'll try to do it again later. So how long of a sidestep do we need? I asked JDCR this about 3 or 4 years ago. JDCR, how do you do sidesteps? He says it's a matter of how long a sidestep should be avoided. JDCR says to block as soon as sidewalk is started. So as soon as you enter sidewalk, it's good to block. So in conclusion, if you want to be good at sidestepping, you can do it if you know your attack and the other person's attack in great detail. The problem is that there are too many. But when I was making this, I think I know why Tekken doesn't have much information. It's too difficult to explain and too annoying. It took me 3 weeks to make this. Crazy. So goodbye. And if you don't mind, liking and subscribing would be great also. Peace. This is FeedyX. I'm Lose Again Man's English voice. If this was helpful, please drop a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comment them down below. Super appreciate it. Thanks.